It's Friday, August 29th, 2025. Happy Labor Day weekend. Welcome to episode 169 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, a water main break shuts down Webster. Businesses coming and businesses going. Expect a busy city council meeting. A potential addition to Lincoln Avenue. Questions regarding Alameda High's softball field. St. George Distillery lends a hand to the Alameda Food Bank. The Bay State comes to the Bay Area. Plenty to do this holiday weekend, and Brian Wu makes history. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story: just before 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, a water main broke near the intersection of Webster and Buena Vista. The break was first reported at approximately 6 p.m., with crews finally locating the source of the break at 10 p.m. The broken pipe shot thousands of gallons of water down Webster, starting at Buena Vista Avenue. The culprit? An 85-year-old section of 12-inch pipe. A stretch of Webster from Lincoln to Atlantic was shut down, eventually reopening Monday evening. The break produced flooding and sinkholes. Some customers reported losing water service, while others reported reduced pressure. The cause of the leak is under investigation, but I'd say an 85-year-old pipe is probably a big clue. You'll find story and pictures at alamedapost.com/news. Heading to the south end of Webster, residents near Webster and Central are about to have to travel farther for groceries. After almost 11 years, Bonfair Market in Neptune Plaza has announced they are closing. The reason? A 60% increase in rent. Management company Cardoza Properties Incorporated informed Bonfair franchise owner Lionel Singh that the monthly rent would be increasing from $10,000 to $16,000. A counteroffer of $12,000 per month made by Singh and the Bonfair parent firm was rejected. Cardoza also rejected a $15,000 a month offer from BevBox. Remember, Neptune Plaza saw Pagano's Hardware leave in January of 24, and that space has remained vacant ever since. There has been some speculation that the owners are trying to empty the plaza in order to build residential property, but other tenants, including Destine Fantasy Games, told the Post that they had recently signed a new 5-year lease. Rangdong Restaurant and Lee's Donuts also indicate that they are staying. As Bonfair attempts to sell off their existing stock, all wine and spirits are now 30% off. Gene Chen has full details at alamedapost.com/news. In positive business news, a lithium-ion battery manufacturer Anthro Energy unveiled its new headquarters on Bay Farm Island with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on August 20th. Located at The Loop, the tech company's new home is 31,748 square feet, features a laboratory, R&D facilities, shipping and storage space, conference rooms, and private offices. Anthro Energy was founded in 2021 by CEO David Mechanic and CTO Joe Papp to create battery cells and electrolytes with high energy density and long lifespan. Previously located in San Jose, the company has expanded, with Alameda now serving as headquarters. Mechanic, a member of Forbes' 30 Under 30 list of young innovators in 2021, said in his opening remarks, quote, "This facility here in Alameda is to prove the scalability of Anthro's next-generation battery technology and create commercial quantities of our advanced battery cells and electrolytes," end quote. Sindhu Anataval has the story and pictures at alamedapost.com/news. City Council gets back to business this coming Tuesday. One item on the agenda promises to be lively. On June 9th, as reported in episode 158, the Planning Board approved a use permit amendment extending the hours of the mobile station at 1310 Central Avenue near the intersection with Encinal. On June 17th, Alameda resident Leland Price filed an appeal raising concerns about past violations related to pumps left on after hours, the board receiving incorrect information about operating hours, the lot being needed for parking for a nearby church. Price also argued that extended hours increase light pollution, that the permit amendment is inconsistent with the general plan. He further argued that as drivers transition to electric vehicles, approving expansion delays the station's inevitable closure and risks future blight. Staff responded that the station is a long-standing legal non-conforming use. Violations have been minimal and addressed. The board received corrected information at the hearing. Church parking is not a permit condition. Lighting changes are not proposed, and supporting this small franchise business is consistent with the general plan and prevents near-term vacancy and blight. Staff recommends upholding the Planning Board's approval. Also on the agenda, street and traffic safety workshops, as well as an interim report on the Rise Up Alameda Guaranteed Income pilot program. Findings from the mid-program study show that participants are performing better than those in a control group of eligible non-participants across numerous key evaluation markers, although housing outcomes remain inconclusive. After 1 year, participants showed significant improvements in financial stability, mental health, and sense of community with no negative impact on employment. Karen Jensen has details on Tuesday's meeting, including ways you can make your voice heard, at alamedapost.com/news. If you've ever gone by 1217 Lincoln Avenue across from Forbidden Island and wondered what's up with that vacant lot, you may soon have your answer. Residential plans have been filed for a 4-story mixed-use infill project on the site. The proposal would add 5 residential units and commercial retail. The proposed structure is expected to be 41 feet tall, a total of approximately 8,000 square feet, including 6,000 square feet of housing, 1,000 square feet of ground-level retail. The owner of the lot is listed as TKB Trading, LLC. Design Collaborative Services is the project architect, and Henry Russell of California Platinum Properties is listed as the project applicant. Story at alamedapost.com/news. On the subject of construction, the recent Alameda High swimming pool project revealed some soil contamination in the form of metal and petroleum products in the ground of what has served as the school's softball field. A report issued in April by the Alameda County Environmental Health Department detailed the findings. Now, after an assessment that found no significant human health risk to students, staff, or maintenance workers, the Alameda County Public Health Department is considering reopening the field and is seeking your input. You can share your thoughts via mail, phone, email, or in an online public forum on September 4th. Full story at alamedapost.com/news. Alameda's own St. George Spirits teaming up with Sierra Nevada Brewing for a great cause, the Alameda Food Bank, and Community Action of Butte County. Coming up on Saturday, September 13th, it's a special release party for a limited edition whiskey called Ruthless. How limited? 750 bottles. What's so special about Ruthless? Well, it's a true collaboration between distiller and brewer. Hang with me for a second as we get into some spirit aficionado speak. Ruthless is distilled from Sierra Nevada's Ruthless Rye IPA, blended with a small amount of the very first barrel of St. George Spirits single malt whiskey. The Ruthless IPA was distilled in 2012 and 2016, spent 8 to 11 years resting in American oak. The St. George single malt whiskey in the Ruthless blend was brewed by Sierra Nevada, distilled by St. George Spirits, and laid down in used bourbon cask in 1997. Get more details plus a ticket link for this limited edition spirit at alamedapost.com/news. Look for the article on Monday. Speaking of adult beverages, had a chance to sit down with Melody Thibault, co-owner of Park Station, the new tap house at 1200 Park Street. They were in a soft opening last week and word was already out. The dog and family-friendly space was packed. Park Station keeps a selection of 30 beers from different breweries, features food from Southie, the casual restaurant from Wood Tavern creator Rich Wood. They're open now and worth checking out. That section of the island definitely deserves a space like Park Station. After you go to Southie, you can head to Southie. South Boston, that is, as Altarena Playhouse presents Good People by David Lindsay Abaire. The Pulitzer Prize-winning Lindsay Abaire is rapidly becoming a favorite at Altarena. They staged his Kimberly Akimbo last season. Good People is a touching look at folks from South Boston, a true working-class neighborhood made famous by Good Will Hunting. I saw a production of the show in Key West a few years back, was genuinely moved. Gene Kahane gives you his glowing review of Altarena's production at alamedapost.com/arts. With the long weekend upon us, Amanda Laird has a great selection of things to do in her weekly all-around Alameda column. In addition to Good People, she also highlights stand-up comedy night at Dragon Rouge Bistro on Saturday. You should not go hungry on Saturday, as there are two food fairs on Alameda Point, the Vegan Street Fair at Faction and the 4th Annual Everybody Eats Festival at Radium Runway. Also on Saturday, the 4th Annual Nick Bianchi Memorial Car Show from 9 to 1 at Carica Park Golf Course. Details on all these events at alamedapost.com/alameda-life. We haven't checked in with Alameda's Brian Wu in a bit. The Seattle Mariners starter is having a literally historic season. On Wednesday, he picked up his 12th win of the season, a 4-3 victory over the Padres. He went 5 2/3 innings in that game. That marked his shortest outing of the year. He snapped a streak of 25 consecutive starts of at least 6 innings. What makes it truly historic? He amassed that streak while allowing 2 or fewer walks in each of those starts. No one has ever started a season like that in the history of Major League Baseball. In fact, only one other person has ever strung together 25 starts like that at any time, Christy Matheson, back in 1908. There is one pitcher to turn in longer streaks, one of 26 and one of 30 starts, some nobody by the name of Cy Young. Currently, Brian is 12-7 with a 2.95 ERA and a whip, or walks and hits per innings pitched, of .95, the 6th best in the league. The Mariners currently hold the 3rd AL wildcard spot behind the Red Sox and Yankees. You can support local news by heading to alamedapost.com/donate. Find us on all the usual social media outlets. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I hope you're able to take a moment this weekend and remember why we have the Labor Day weekend. I'm Scott Peeler, back next Friday with episode 170 of the Alameda Postcast.